So we finally got that long anticipated, extra long anticipated if you include the delay, General Nintendo Direct. So how was it? Did it deliver? Well, let's talk about it. It kicked off, in my opinion, in a huge way. The announcement for Luigi's Mansion 3 coming to Nintendo Switch, with the original Luigi's Mansion game getting ported to the 3DS, as well as the series being hinted at in the last Smash Direct. Players had been hoping we'd see a new entry soon, and yes, it's coming, and it's coming next year. That's already going to be one of my more anticipated games for 2019. Then we dove right into everyone's favorite section, the 3DS games. They rapid-fired this stuff, so at least it wasn't too long. Mostly stuff we already knew about. Kirby's Epic Yarn is getting ported over now. I think that's going to be mostly what you can expect for the 3DS going forward. Nintendo just digging into their past libraries to see what they can get to run on the system, and then bringing it over. But yeah, like I said, it was quick, so can't fault them for it. Then let me actually jump ahead to what was my most anticipated section going into the Direct, the online service. I hoped, I prayed, they do something, anything, to drum up interest in the service. With it releasing next week, the time was now. More retro games on other systems, ditching the app, I don't know, themes? Give us some hope. But nope, just the same old crap. Talking about the NES titles, the app. They had a whole animation deal hyping up the phone app. Like, seriously? Is this some sort of inside joke that we're not aware of? Are you trying to troll the fans or something? This was absolutely awful. But oh, you could pay $60 for 2 NES controllers that work with the Switch. It's like instead of buying an NES Classic with more games, buy 2 controllers that can plug into the Switch. I don't know. I stand by my past statements that this rollout has been handled about as poorly as possible. Now here's the thing, and I think we do need to sort of factor this in. There were games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Tennis Aces featured in this thing, getting a bunch of new content. Free new content. I mean, geez, how much new stuff has been added to Splatoon 2 at this point? In most other games, these character packs, maps, new items, and that would be paid DLC. Okay, let's be honest. All right, people normally charge for this stuff. So I do think that that's something to consider when this service drops. If a lot of these games continue to get this sort of free support, there's definitely value in it. But still, the service has a big image problem, a big PR problem. People aren't excited about paying for so many features that feel so behind on the times. You know, as much as I love all that free Splatoon 2 content, I'd love more to actually be able to back up my saves, Nintendo, to protect the time I've put into this game. There is so much work to be done here, and we're long past the, oh, just give them more time excuse. In my opinion, I see that everywhere. Oh, you need to give them more time. The Switch is already over 1.5 years old. They've had plenty of time to get these features sorted. It's downright embarrassing that they still haven't been able to do so. Fortunately for them, I think Smash will be big enough to boost up those sub numbers, provided the online works well. I hope you have a crack team working on that netcode, Nintendo, because if not, I do think this service is going to be in trouble. But you really need to improve all these features. In 2018, what you're providing and charging us for, it's not great. But that was really the only major blight, I'd say, on this whole thing, in my opinion. So let's get back into the good stuff. While Nintendo themselves might not be interested in providing us ample retro offerings on the Switch, a bunch of third parties certainly are. Capcom is keeping things going with the Beat 'em Up bundle that will bring 7 of their classic Beat 'em Up games to the Switch, including some that will be making their home console debut. I'm personally pretty excited to get into some Final Fight and Knights of the Round. The games will feature up to 4-player co-op locally with individual Joy-Cons, as well as online play. Then, Square Enix. You got me good here, boys. First, they talk about all like the mobile stuff, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, that just seeing it gets my blood boiling. Then like Crystal Chronicles that had widely been known about. And it's like, yeah, that's all fine and good. but then they just hit us with a barrage of classic Final Fantasy games, starting with Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, which I was actually just considering picking up over the summer on PS4. Glad I waited on that one, as well as Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, and 10-2. I think the total was 8. 8 Final Fantasy games coming to the Nintendo Switch. 8. That's such a great number, by the way. The number 8 is. The heavily rumored new Super Mario Bros. U port turned out to be true, bringing some new playable characters into the mix along with all the past playable... Or, wait. Where's... Oh. Oh no. I'm more so just glad this announcement happened because it's at least over with now. Still sucks though that they spent all the time to bring this over when it could have been, should have been Mario Maker, let's be honest. Katamari Damacy is also making its way to the Switch. I would be interested in seeing how it plays with the gyro controls and the HD Rumble stuff. I could see that actually being kind of fun with a game like this. Civilization 6, aka Not the Good One, was also a leak that got confirmed. City Skylines is available right now. There are a bunch of board games coming that I'm sure someone out there will be interested in. Yoshi's Crafted World, another leak, got an extended gameplay look. Not really thrilled about the spring release date, though. With the game originally planned to be released in 2018, I was hoping to have a solid January or February date, but maybe because Mario Bros. U Deluxe is coming in January, they wanted to spread out the 2D platformers a bit. Yeah, I would have liked to see that come a little earlier. Diablo 3 I'm actually starting to get more and more excited for. I hope it plays as smooth as the footage we've been seeing, and we were finally able to witness that Ganondorf transmog in motion. I think I could really get into dumping some serious hours into running around as Ganondorf and just slicing up demons. Also, they said when you scan Amiibo into Diablo 3, they're going to spawn elite packs. I'm really interested to see how that all works out. Can I keep scanning them and keep just summoning more and more elite packs on top of each other and just make things insanely crazy? I'm eager to see what the deal is with that. Daemon X Machina looks more fun and enticing the more I see it. Really loving the art style. And we learned in this trailer that you're going to be able to customize your pilot as well as run around with him on foot. Don't know how smart that would actually be with giant mech and tank battles happening all around you. But I've been sold on this one since it was first revealed. Just give it to me already. And let's talk for a second about this Starlink game. The whole Star Fox tie-in originally seemed like, okay, Fox will be a playable character in the Switch version with his R-Wing. That's great. But in this trailer, we see the rest of the Star Fox team make an appearance, as well as Wolf. Can we just go ahead and call this a Star Fox game being made by Ubisoft already? I really hope this game delivers when it releases, and I think the sales of the Switch version compared to other platforms with all these Star Fox inclusions exclusive to Switch will be really interesting to see. Super Mario Party is another one I've been long sold on. Looks great, and all the mini-games I've seen so far look like a lot of fun. And if you want to talk about something coming out of nowhere, this Town title being developed by Game Freak, who make the Pokemon games. All we really know is that it's about this town. Crazy enough. Sounds like the whole game actually may take place in it, and you have to defend it from invading monsters. Sounds like it may be kind of different. I like the cartoony vibe here. But yeah, I don't know how you could hear the name Game Freak and New RPG and not be at least intrigued. Both of the big Switch bundles still to come this year got little showcases. With both of these packages, I like the docks, but not the Joy-Con so much. I don't really care for the color choices on the Pokemon Let's Go Joy-Cons. Kinda gross. And the Smash Brothers Joy-Cons I feel like are just way too simplistic. Glad these bundles are coming nonetheless, but yeah, I hope we can see some better exclusive Joy-Cons for future bundles. And of course, how could you close out a Direct these days without a Smash reveal? It dragged a little, but Isabelle is joining the fray, turning a new leaf, as they said. And more importantly, after the trailer featuring her moveset, we cut to Tom Nook at his desk, who mentions that After all this smashing, these people need a nice town to come back to, thus revealing that, yes, a new Animal Crossing title is coming in 2019. I know that made a bunch of people out there very happy. Overall, I thought this Direct was pretty good. The online portion was legit tough to watch, but we got plenty of solid information, I thought, both on new games as well as titles we've already heard about or known about. It seemed like, at least from my stream, a lot of people weren't very thrilled with it. Like I said, the online stuff I get, but I'd also keep in mind, if you wanted more, that we're certainly still not done for this year yet, far from it. We'll for sure have to have another Smash Direct, or at least one that is heavily Smash focused, to talk about like that blurred out mode they teased, rumored to be Spirits, and I'm absolutely certain you can expect more character reveals to come. We've got other non-Nintendo events like Tokyo Game Show and the Game Awards that the Big N has been having an increased presence at. Don't forget, at last year's Game Awards, they premiered the Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad DLC and released it that night, as well as announced Bayonetta 1 and 2 were coming to the Switch, and that Bayonetta 3 was in development, all at last year's Game Awards. So I feel pretty safe in assuming we're going to see some big stuff at the Game Awards this year as well, perhaps an update on Bayonetta 3 after they announced it there last year. 2018 in general, I did think was a bit lighter for Nintendo. Not a bad year by any means, but lighter for sure. Some of the delays hurt things. Titles like Yoshi and Fire Emblem slipping into 2019. But speaking of, 2019 is already looking stacked. Just from what we know about it already, stuff we've seen in this Direct, past Directs, Luigi's Mansion 3 and Animal Crossing, like I said, were announced during this Direct. The next true core Pokemon game is also slated for 2019, and with it just being September of 2018, there's much, much, much more to be announced for next year. I would actually put money down that 2019 will end up being the best out of these first 3 years in terms of Switch game releases. Anyway, with that, this video is a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the most recent Nintendo Direct in the comments. What did you think of the presentation overall, and what were the highlights for you? Because I think we can all agree the online portion was definitely the low point. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this discussion of the latest Nintendo Direct. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter at Johnny Zakari, and join my Discord, Shy Guy and Friends, link to both in the description below, and as always, thanks for watching.